Kia ora and welcome to Retail Unplugged. It's a podcast brought to you by Retail NZ. I'm Carolyn Young. I'm the Chief Executive of Retail NZ, and today I'd like to welcome Greer Davies, Director of OneMusic, to chat about the benefits of playing music in store. Kia ora, Greer.
Kia ora, Carolyn. Lovely to see you.
And you as well. Look, music is a really interesting topic, but I guess a lot of our listeners out there are thinking, who is OneMusic? Could you tell us a bit about who OneMusic is and what it is that you do?
Yeah, sure. OneMusic is the face of two music rights organisations. One is APRA AMCOS and the other is Recorded Music New Zealand. Each of those organisations represent different rights in a song. So APRA AMCOS represents songwriters, composers, music publishers, and Recorded Music New Zealand represent recording artists and record labels. And those two rights are two distinct separate rights in a song. And so you might have people that sit on both sides. They're an APRA member and they're a recording artist, and they still maintain those two separate rights.
Fantastic. And so when retailers are thinking about music, when they're looking at playing music in store, do they need a license to play music in their store?
They do. Under the Copyright Act, there are some exclusions, and one of those exclusions is that you need permission from music creators to publicly perform music. And that is a challenge. A retailer would be playing tens of thousands of songs a year, and to have to go and get permission from everyone that wrote it, music publishers, recording artists, record labels, I mean, I wouldn't even know where to start.
Mind-boggling.
And no, and in this day and age of collaboration, there are so many songwriters and so many recording artists that can appear on a song that we as a consumer don't even know about. So prior to OneMusic, a retailer would need to have got permission from APRA and Recorded Music New Zealand. And that's a confusing piece of education. And so we thought we could probably simplify music licensing, which is how and why we created OneMusic. So OneMusic is a brand. It sits within the APRA world, and we now offer one license on behalf of APRA and Recorded Music New Zealand, which gives the retailer permission to play as much music in their business as they like.
And that's because if they have a license through OneMusic, you're representing the artist and the recordings. And so does that mean that there's a fee that's paid back to the artist and that you manage that?
Yes, it does. Yes. And so for the retail environment, the license is dictated on the premises area, how many meters squared that area is that the public can be in. And that license fee is then distributed back to APRA and to Recorded Music New Zealand. And each of those organisations then distributes that revenue as royalties to their members. Each organisation is affiliated with global entities. So they're not just representing New Zealand creators, they're representing the vast majority of what's created globally.
So internationally, you're paying fees back to international artists as well as local artists.
Yes. So from an APRA perspective, as an example, if a Tom Jones song was played, seems topical at the moment, APRA would pay the royalties back to the songwriters of those songs that Tom is performing. Whether he's a songwriter or not, I'm not sure, but that might be someone in the UK, and that would go to PRS. That might be someone in America, that could go to ASCAP or BMI. So there's an affiliated network that has a continual, that shares payments, well, not shares, but distributes payments around the world.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so OneMusic's a not-for-profit organisation, isn't it, Greer? So
It is.
How does that structure work in terms of making sure that the funding goes back to the artists?
Yeah, so we run a tight ship, and the driver is to keep expenses at 13%. They do tend to fluctuate depending on what projects might be happening, in the IT world, but generally they're around the 13.5, 13.7%, I think might have been the highest, to ensure that we are distributing as much money as we can to music creators for them to create more music. Music is such an emotional part of our lives and our shopping experience that if we can get more money to them, we can hopefully get more songs created.
And I guess the majority of retailers do play music in their store, don't they? So the message would be that if you're playing music in your store, whether it's, I guess, on the radio or recorded music, whether it's via Spotify or your own CDs or any other method, you still need to have a OneMusic license to play that music because you're playing it in a public space. You've got members of the public coming in and it's for the benefit of the public, which is why there's a license requirement. Is that right?
That is absolutely correct. Yes. Yep.
Perfect. And so, what we'd expect is that most retailers across the Motu would have a license with OneMusic. And if they want to know more information, what's your website address that they'd go to get that information?
Our website is onemusicnz.com, and there's very simple icons on the front page. So you determine where you think you sit in the world of, industries, and that takes you to a informative page. We've got some facts and helpful stats about the value of music in your business. It tells you can calculate how much your annual license fee would be, and it's a very simple process. There's a portal that will be coming towards the end of the year, which will enable a more seamless purchase of a license, but it's still a really simple process. And you complete a license and it annually renews until it's terminated by, a change of owner or a business change, and it just keeps going.
Fantastic. Well, I think that's the key things that we'd need to know about OneMusic in terms of a base understanding. But do join us again. We're going to have another session with Greer. So thank you so much today, Greer, for taking the time to chat to us. It's been a pleasure to speak to you and hear how you're championing and supporting the retail sector through music. A special thanks to our Retail NZ partners, who without their support, we wouldn't be able to bring this recording to you. And finally, don't forget to subscribe to Retail Unplugged so you can keep up to date with all the current industry knowledge. Ka kite anō and goodbye for now.
Kia ora, thank you.